Back at the New World Fair, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ray Ibar at the Pasadena Convention Center. I'm here with Rose Elizabeth Hahn, who's written this outstanding book, 2012, Waking of the Prophets. Now, this is an incredible book that centers around its main character, Judah Hardison. I'm sorry, Judah Hardison, and he's called the Wilderness Boy. And it's a fascinating, and very complex story that has a lot of interesting themes running through it. We're going to talk to Rose right now about that. Rose, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, this book was really fascinating to me because the main character is being drawn by the far left and the far right for their own purposes here. He's kind of caught in the middle from a tragedy that actually happened to him. Talk to our viewing audience about Judah and about some of the other complexities of this book here.
Well, basically, what's going on with Judah's story is he and his family were very interested in the 2012 prophecies, which predict, some say, that the world will be coming to an end on December 21st, 2012. There is an alternative interpretation of the Mayan calendar, which actually says that it won't be the end of the world, it'll be the end of this present era. And instead, that date would actually mark a dawning of a new era, an awakening. And basically, in order to prepare for the prophesized end of the world, he and his family moved out into the wilderness and survived out there for an extended amount of time. And when Judah comes back into civilization, that's when he begins to be pulled from different sides. There's a mass media blitz about his story. And so it's a matter of influence and how his story might influence the current social parameters, political, spiritual, etc.
There's a lot of different themes running through here, as you just mentioned here. There's, of course, the political aspect of this. There's the threat of war impending with another country that adds to the complexity, along with his presence, Judah's presence coming back into society causes a lot of problems for people. But he's an interesting character, and one of the things that really stuck out here was the dreams that he had and the visions that he had with the ancient god Kukulkan. Talk to our viewing audience about that.
Well, essentially because a lot of his studies were in the Mayan culture, it serves as an influence for him, and he does have several visions in which he is essentially communicating with his higher self through the manifestation of Kukulkan, as you said. And basically learning that his whole purpose is to live, essentially, and that he doesn't need to be caught up in some of the spiritual dogma that is, I guess,
dominating the scene, dominating people's way of thinking and of living, too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, this is the characters are actually complex. Some of them are complex. Some of them are just kind of taking it day by day here. And he does have an interest in here. A friend of his, Marion, talked to our viewing audience about what her character plays in this.
Essentially, she is his love interest, but she also serves as an impetus for him in order to truly take control of his destiny and get rid of some of the fears, the fearful interaction with the world that he's having.
And then, of course, there's the theme of government. Government trying to monitor our every move here, and his resistance to that, because he has come from the wilderness, from the forest, and as he says, as Judah says, he's very aware of his surroundings, and more important, aware of the things that are going on inside of himself, because he's been away from all of the commotion. He's had time to reflect. He's had time to find out who he is and what his soul and his spirit are about.
Right, and there's two ways that actually plays into the story. You know, there's an old Buddhist parable about a yogi who goes into the mountains, and he really connects and to his higher self and learns how to live peacefully and harmoniously. And when he comes down from the mountain, he is immediately assaulted in a city and he responds in a violent reaction. And his mentor witnesses this and asks him, have you forgotten everything that you learned on the mountain? And so one of the essential themes throughout the book is the notion that, you know, when you do have that time to step back from the busyness that we get caught up in, and really get in touch with your inner self, you're able to see more clearly the path that you want to take, and you're able to stay connected to your higher self and carry out your highest intention. And I would like to say that the other part, the part about the political aspect, plays into it as well, because a lot of times we feel disempowered when we see the way that world events are carrying out, and we feel like, you know, we really can't have much of an impact. And so one of the major themes of the book is touching on that, the fact that we do always, no matter what the circumstances are, we do always have the ability to, it's called free will, I guess, you know, to impact the reality that we're going to experience.
And also love and loyalty, how Judah was confronted with a choice by one of the organizations of having to lie about his circumstance, so to speak, over a tragedy, and they were trying to politicize his tragedy without giving all the whole story away here. And then how he experienced the death-birth experience in the coffin, which we won't get into, but that was a very that was a turning point for me in the story, because it represented the death of the old and the birth of the new.
Right, a rite of passage, if you will, which was, once again, Judah taking conscious control of his destiny and choosing not to be a victim of the events that were swirling around him, but instead to take conscious control. And so in that process, there was, I guess, a death of the self and an awakening to a new version of the self.
Well, I'm going to read something here. We're going to wind up the interview here, Rose, and I just want to read something here that was so profound to me that that stuck out here. And it's very, very simple, but it's very profound. And I want to finish with this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it is your ability to choose that makes you free. And I think that says it all. The synopsis of this book is that it ultimately is our choice toward total freedom.
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of times we forget, is that at any given moment, regardless of your circumstances, you have a choice of how you're going to respond to them. And it is, you know, once you recognize that you have the choice and you get to determine how things are going to play out, that's when you're free, because all of a sudden you're not bound by other people's expectations, by other people's limited vision of what can be. You know, you're in full authority of your own choices.
Well, I really, really enjoyed this book. I'm going to go back and I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read it again, because there's more that I want to get out of this. But this is a really great story, ladies and gentlemen. It's very powerful. It's very self-actualizing. And you're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see a little bit of each of you somewhere in this book. That's what makes it so great. Now, where can you purchase the book, and where's it going to be made available? Website information, all that good stuff.
Right now, it's available on the publisher's website, which is reevolutionmedia.com. But it is also going to be available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, in privately owned bookstores around the country as well.
Yeah, you're headed out on a book tour here. You're going to be on a whirlwind tour. Where are you, some of the stops you're going to be going? Where are you going to end up?
We are in Austin next. Then we're going to be heading to Dallas and Houston. All of those are in Texas. We'll be in Sedona, Arizona, up in New Hampshire, and then we'll see from there.
Well, congratulations on this. I know that you put a lot of time and a lot of your heart and soul in this. It really comes across. Go out and get yourself a copy of 2012 Waking of the Prophets by Rose Elizabeth Hahn, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray Ibarra at the Pasadena Convention Center.